In the early 1960s, America was a nation divided, not just by race, but by fear. From Montgomery to Mississippi, freedom was a word whispered more than shouted. Children watched their parents marched and jailed. Churches were bombed. Black voices were silenced or ignored. But in the hearts of many, a quiet fire burned. A longing for justice, dignity, and hope. And as the summer of 1963 arrived, that fire turned into something powerful. The streets began to speak. The people began to rise. The time had come for history to listen. August 28, 1963, over 250,000 people, black and white, young and old, stood shoulder to shoulder in Washington, D.C. The March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom had begun. And at the center of it all, a man with a dream. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., son of a preacher, grandson of a slave, climbed the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Before him, a sea of faces full of hope and pain. Behind him, the towering statue of a president who once signed a promise. That day, the promise needed to be reminded. That day, history needed a voice. Dr. King had prepared a speech, typed, edited, practiced. But as he spoke, something shifted. From behind him, gospel singer Mahalia Jackson shouted, "Tell them about the dream, Martin." He paused. And then he looked out at the crowd, not at his paper. And he spoke from the heart, from pain, from faith. The speech became something else entirely. Not a message of anger, but a dream, a vision not just for Black Americans, but for everyone who ever felt small, forgotten, or afraid. In that moment, history stopped reading from a script and started listening to a soul. "I have a dream," he said, not once, but over and over. A dream of children holding hands. A dream of justice flowing like water, a dream of a nation rising above hate. The words rang out across the reflecting pool. They lifted the weary and challenged the comfortable. They painted the kind of world America could be. Not perfect, but better. Not someday, but soon. In those minutes, it wasn't just a speech. It was a mirror and a window, a reflection of pain and a glimpse of hope. That voice, that dream, reached into the future, and it's still echoing today. From that moment, the dream marched forward into classrooms where children of all colors sat side by side, into courtrooms where justice was demanded, into homes, hearts, and ballots. It wasn't easy. It still isn't. But the speech that day sparked a movement. Laws were changed. People were changed. The dream didn't end with Dr. King. It multiplied in voices, in marches, in silent acts of courage. It became part of the American story. Not just Black history. Not just civil rights history, but our history. Because a true dream never sleeps. Some words fade after they're spoken. Others become landmarks in time. "I have a dream" wasn't just a sentence, it was a spark. A reminder that even in the darkest hour, a voice can bring light. We all carry words. Words that hurt. Words that heal. Words that shape the world around us. So what will be your words? What dream will you dare to speak aloud? Because history doesn't only remember the loudest voices, it remembers the truest ones. And sometimes all it takes is one sentence from one soul to change everything. Dedicated to the dreamers who still believe. Subscribe for more powerful true stories.